Hi everybody, it's Tim Wild here, and hopefully this will be one of the only videos that I'm recording this year inside, but the last few times I've tried to do this particular YouTube video, which is going to be focusing on the throat chakra, my nose has started running outside and I really didn't think it was appropriate to subject you all to that. So what's going on with the energy at the moment? Just a quick update on the energies of this current month, and we're actually at the end of February now. March is just around the corner. Spring is here in England. It's beautiful. And we've got a massive solar flare coming in. About 2 or 3 days ago, my ears started ringing, which is always the sign. I used to think it was tinnitus, but in actual fact it is the quantity of the light and the information that we are receiving, and it really does shake the birdcage and brings everything to the surface, as if we didn't have enough of that already. But so what is this doing for us? It's bringing a lot of shadow stuff to the surface. I've been hearing people talking about the fact that they are constantly needing to clean their auras, clean their physical, mental, emotional and spiritual bodies. And I've gone old school with my clearing. I've bought myself some sage and I do this twice a day. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with the energies at the moment, if you're feeling particularly like no matter how many forms of energetic protection you put around you, Archangel Michael's blue cloak, my blue and gold star seals, cleaning your chakras constantly. Sometimes the old school method, getting a sage stick out, using your intention, giving yourself a really good smudge, or simply dipping your toes in water, walking barefoot, holding your light high and clear. All of this really helps. But one of my energy missions recently has been to clear the house that I actually physically live in and have lived in since 2011. A few of you commented on my Zoom event, which I held on Saturday night. As you can see, I'm in a new area. I'm in a new room. I've moved my office to what was originally the basement or the wine cellar of the Victorian house that I live in. Now, you might have heard me explain this previously. This house was a Red Cross hospital in the First World War, and it was a troop station in the Second World War. And we didn't realise this until we'd been living in here for a good 9 months to a year, when my wife found information and old pictures of this property. So now I know why I was moved here, and I also know why it has been so tricky to clear and bring the energy of this area back to sort of an equilibrium and cleanse the ley lines, cleanse the actual physical ground on which this house was built. And I've been given indications that this clearing is now coming to an end. So thank you for the other night for the prompts. So those of you that messaged me and said, yeah, the energy's a bit funky, because it was. So everywhere around us, we've got this very intense kind of yin and yang energy. We've got this almost what I describe as an increase in the 3D fields around us. People are bringing all of this stuff out now. There's a lot of political stuff going on in the United States of America. People are having to stand up and speak for their rights to action, and on social media, some of you have noticed there is a lot of censorship going on. This is a sign of the times. This is a sign of the changing energies. It has to reach a certain pitch before it breaks and everything kind of starts to actually remold itself into the correct shape. So keep yourself grounded, keep yourself nice and clear, keep your light high. Keeping your light high is the most effective way of keeping yourself as free as you possibly can at this present moment in time of any lower frequencies, lower energies, and we all take it on. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm untouched by these frequencies, because I'm not. It's been one of my major missions, one of my primary missions on this planet, is to learn how to deal with actually physically living on Earth in a high frequency form and dealing with what we have around us. It's taught me what I know today. And speaking of the changes that are occurring here on Earth at the moment, it is requiring light workers to authentically, and I mean authentically, step up and speak their truth. Now, a lot of these truths are making, and I saw a post by a friend of mine called Vix, the New Age hipster, this morning, which absolutely hit the nail on the head. She'd been speaking about veganism on her YouTube channel, and it's rattling people's cages, and there's other aspects. All of us have got a warrior sword. all of us have got a subject that is dear to our hearts that could possibly make us very unpopular with other people. And now is the time when we are required to step up and speak. It's not a popularity contest anymore. It's not about how many likes you get. It's not about how many followers you get. It's not about how many people adore the information that come out of your mouth. Because we are here to change the world. And sometimes changing the world means that you speak your truth even when you shake. So that is worth bearing in mind as we move into what I'm going to be working with today, which is clearing the throat chakra. So all of the chakras that we've worked with now started at the Earth Star chakra. We moved up through the base, the sacral, the navel, the solar plexus, my personal favourite, the heart, in the last video, and now we come to the throat. Now the throat it's one of the 4 chakras that I regard as you've heard me say it before, the problem chakras, where we've got 4 chakras that interact with our surroundings, our physicality, a lot more than the other ones. The first of it being the third eye, because the third eye is how we project our reality into fruition, and how we perceive the world around us on a sort of a psychic level. The throat, the solar plexus, and the sacral. So today we're going to work with the throat. And for years, and I mean thousands of years, for millennia, humanity, and particularly people in our position, have been punished for standing up and speaking the truth, or speaking their truth. Anything which kind of goes against the societal norms, anything that threatens the status quo, has always been shut down. Throat chakra is responsible for this. It's the one physical chakra where you can project who you are, your physicality, verbally into reality. It's incredibly powerful. So all light workers at one point on their pathway are going to be tested in speaking their truth, their reality, what they have to bring to the table, and what the words that they are going to speak to change the vibration of those around them and change the vibration of physical reality itself. So bring your attention to this chakra now. Your throat. I use mine constantly. I'm a public speaker. I speak more than I write now. So my throat has been a constant process of clearing. And it was interesting to note when Diana and I first started working together, Diana Cooper and myself, she had a blockage all the way back from Atlantean times, which, believe it or not, is where most of your issues will have started to arise from. And so every time she spoke about Atlantis, she would start coughing. And I remember her telling me a very interesting story of the first time she ever spoke publicly about Atlantis. Her throat had shut down so dramatically that she had to literally speak into the microphone in a whisper. And that I can totally believe, because when Atlantis fell just over 10,000 years ago, as the history goes, as I have received my information and as others have received their information, when Atlantis sank, we had already reached a point in the Atlantean societies where the truth was no longer it was no longer tolerated. You were punished for speaking your truth. And when we decided to step into the 3D adventure that we've been in for the last 10,000 years, and I like calling it an adventure, it's a lesson plan, we learnt a lot from it. Thank you 3D, etc, etc. The powerful Atlanteans who survived the fall and went on to other places, I myself went to Egypt, many others went to various different parts of the planet, we almost kind of agreed to be part of the 3D plan, to actually have the power of our voices reduced dramatically, and this was done by form of an Atlantean collar. And you've probably heard, if you've followed my live Zoom events, and particularly the ones that I've co-hosted with Birkin Tor, these Atlantean collars are very prominent and they are up for removal now. So if you bring your attention to your throat chakra, just be aware of any blockages that you may have in this area. You might already be aware of this, or it might be something you feel or sense or tune into as I'm speaking and bringing your attention to it. Feel your throat glowing bright, radiant blue, royal blue. Feel it shining. As you move your intention and your attention into this chakra, you'll feel it lighting up. Ask it very clearly if there is anything that needs removing, clearing or balancing. And you might want to call upon Archangel Michael as well. Archangel Michael governs the progress of the 5D throat chakra, particularly when it's in its infancy stages. We're obviously not in the infancy stages anymore, but he will gladly come and assist you in clearing anything that you have in your throat at this point in the morning. And if you feel like you've got any restrictions or any blockages in your throat, just ask Archangel Michael to gently remove them now. Your throat might feel clear and bright and pure as you've already cleared this, but for those of you that haven't, you might sense or feel almost like a restriction around there, like a rope, or almost like it almost looks a little bit like a bright dog collar that goes from all the way around the throat chakra. You might want to feel if there's a hinge or a clasp at the back that you can just unclick yourself and remove it. These are up for removal, they just need your permission to come off now. And sometimes with the throat, because it is a physical chakra, toning, using your voice is a massive assistance with this. So if you can feel any sounds, any vibrations coming through your throat or your voice at this time, use it. That method is it's known as toning, and you hold a crystal to your throat chakra and just breathe the tone in. Like say, for example, ah, just allow the vibration to clear whatever may be in your throat chakra at this time. And this doesn't take long. This is work that can go on for as long as it needs to. I know I've been clearing the restrictions in my throat for a very, very long time now. So just breathe and relax and just allow for any work to occur in here. You might want to call in the cosmic diamond violet flame as well. Ask that your throat is filled with this beautiful translucent energy to just release and dissolve any blockages. Could call on Archangel Gabriel's diamond white ray of purity to also clear it. And just physical hand movements like this. The intention of removing anything that is blocking your throat. And this is something that you can do in your own quiet time at any time. It doesn't have to be led by anybody. Your throat chakra is your responsibility. You just kind of need the tools and the impetus to actually do this yourself. And of course, over a natural period of time, as light workers, as I was speaking about earlier, we are tested on the validity of the clearance of this chakra. So at some point, inevitably on our spiritual pathway, we stand up and we speak our truth. This could be anybody. This could be to a family member that you know has got very strong or rigid beliefs, or a sibling, or even maybe a child or a boss, or anybody in your vicinity, in your life, your personal life, who you know at some point you might have just been neutering or watering down your information, or not speaking up when you for fear of rocking the boat, or in any way, shape or form. Now is the time that we speak our truth with love and integrity, and this is incredibly important, particularly for 2019 this year. Like I say, social media at the moment it appears to me, I don't know whether I'm attracting this because it's what I'm aware of, or whether it is actually genuinely like this. Social media appears to be a little bit of a battleground. People are coming forward with their new ideas, they're speaking their truths, and there is a lot of resistance to this. So just be aware, make sure that you're covered with the violet flame if you know you're going into battle in any way, shape or form. Keep that throat clear. If you're feeling that you have these Atlantean restrictions or blockages, I've got some very useful Zoom events that are available in the recordings on my website, timwilde.com. And these are the ones that I co-hosted with Beer Kintor. We work specifically on clearing the throat, and a lot of the time and attention is spent on clearing the throat because it's so important for this coming period. So I hope in whatever you're doing, wherever you are on the planet, that you've enjoyed this video and you find the information within it useful. If you've just discovered what I'm doing, then my Tim Wilde Practical Ascension page has got lots more information on it. My timwilde.com website has got all of my old blogs, my other YouTube videos and anything else that I've written in the past. So sending you lots of love, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.